Good morning. So, I want to talk a little bit about the power of the divine feminine essence, the essence of divine feminine, the feminine power. Um, as a healed, divine feminine, the power that you hold is far greater than you can imagine. And I want to start by telling a little bit of a story. Yesterday, I was sitting with some friends. I went down. Yesterday was Saturday, and I went down to the beach here on the Sea of Galilee and sat with some friends, and also with my counterpart. And I was the only female in the conversation, and the discussion. It came to a point where they were talking about this festivity like the Sufis have, where there's only male participants. And I said that would be something that I would love to experience, where they all dance in a circle, but it's only men. And it looks like so much fun, and I would love to experience it. But even if I come into, just me coming into the situation would already change the dynamics of the whole situation. So it's kind of like a paradox. I can't really experience it because the minute I come to experience it, I change the experience itself. And the men there started discussing, yeah, if a female comes into the situation, then all the men start trying to impress the female, and then it all becomes around to that and about that. And really just in the last few years after my new life, after I got a divorce and started on the spiritual awakening process, did I really understand the enormous power that there is in femininity, because we live now in a dominantly masculine world, where where women are expected to bring their inner masculine to the front and work through the inner masculine, which is comes less natural for a divine feminine. We all have feminine and masculine within us, but as divine feminine, we have more of a nurturing and a healing, and we gather people together, and there's a different essence to divine masculine, something so far more soft around the edges than there is for divine masculine, which divine masculine is the competing and out in the workplace, working with rigid outlines and working physically with our bodies, and it's there isn't better or worse. It's just different. The way that divine masculine and divine feminine work, they each have their own strengths that together they come together and make and they enhance each other. They're complementary to each other. Whereas now, divine feminine is expected to behave in the world according to the laws of nature of divine masculine. So we are expected to, we dress like males, we put on that body language like males, we become hard around the edges, we compete in the workplace, we are breadwinners. And the femininity in us has taken a secondary role because of the way that society is nowadays. You have to produce. You have to go out and be a breadwinner. You're expected to do this. You're expected to be able to hold down the house, take care of the children, cook, clean, go out and make a living, work and compete within the workplace with masculines, which is also demasculating the masculines, right? Because if women can now do everything that men once were expected to do, then we are demasculating our men. Our men aren't, they're not, there's a very, for the divine masculine, there is a very satisfying feeling in being the provider, being the umbrella for the family, being that person that you can depend on, that stand up and go out and I know this isn't for every masculine. There is no absolute. We all have feminine and masculine within us. It's finding that balance. It's healing our inner masculine and our inner feminine. So the feminine energy, I'm talking as way of an energy. The feminine energy also resides within the masculine, within the male of the species, just as the male resides within the feminine. And that's even how we can connect to our masculine side and be in a masculine society now, or world, or the Matrix is a very, very masculine, very oriented, very masculine. But there is a divine power in the feminine that when it is mastered, it's just like what my friends were saying yesterday, that once a feminine comes into the situation, the whole situation changed, because all of the masculines all of a sudden are putting on a show for the feminine that entered the room. Now, this is something that all throughout my marriage and through most of my upbringing, most of my adulthood, I didn't notice, because I was so far into the my own insecurities, but I never, just in the last few years, have I really realized that there is a power. And I don't mean like a dominating power. I don't mean in a way of aggressiveness. I mean that there is a absolute power within healed divine feminine energy. So have you ever met women that are very feminine? And I don't mean delicate and breakable. I mean feminine, but very strong in their femininity. It is mesmerizing. It is a beautiful energy. When you meet a woman that is proud and standing upright in her femininity, and it doesn't have anything to do with the looks or body shape, or the way that someone dresses. The way that someone dresses is affected by how they feel, right? Somebody that feels very feminine would feel very comfortable wearing feminine clothing that enhances their femininity, or somebody that's very comfortable in their femininity, who has come back in to sit in their divine God seat as a divine feminine, naturally will sit within that power, and that power becomes magnetizing. It becomes a superpower, because it is such a soft power. And maybe power, it's a strength, a power. These are the words that are coming to me, but it's really an essence. It's an essence of somebody that stands within their divine femininity and knows their worth. It isn't an energy that has to push. It isn't an energy, whereas masculine is more of a push energy. The divine feminine is more of a allowance energy. It's coming into this place of complete knowing of your power, of your strength, and then you can just stand within it, and you're not pushed around to with the whims of those outside of you. And divine feminine, when she has mastered her feminine energy, can contain masculine energy very easy. She's not, first of all, she's not playing the masculine game, so there isn't a competition there between the masculine and the feminine, which happens a lot also in marriages nowadays, that there is a competition for control, which is within the masculine realm. But when divine feminine is completely healed, the two complement each other. The divine masculine wants to be of service, not competing with the feminine for the control or upper hand. Or really what they're competing for is they're competing for to be appreciated and noticed within their masculine energy, whatever they're bringing to the table. If they feel that it is not being appreciative because the feminine is living in the masculine, taking on the masculine traits, and then there's a competition between the two, then the masculine is always feeling like they have to prove themselves, and the feminine is also not feeling appreciated because she is going out of her way and out of her own natural state of being. Maybe it's comfortable for her now because she was taught into it, but it's against her own natural way of being, and she's doing all of this. And why is the masculine not appreciating everything that she is, like her inner being knows that she's forfeiting herself to be able to rise to this place, and she wants to show how worthy she is in this place and overcompensating in this place. And then it creates this competition, this place that is exactly the opposite of unity. It's two people playing the same role within a unit. And then there is the feminine role nobody is playing. And so not only is the relationship feeling that there is a loss in there because there is nobody holding up that feminine energy, which is the warmth, the forgiveness, the loving. And I'm not saying that doesn't exist in masculine, but it is traits that are very strong within the feminine, the nurturing, mothering traits, complete love and giving of life. And then we also, we breastfeed our children. It's the giving of nutrients. We are the energetic nurturers within the relationship, and the masculine are the protectors and providers, and that contain that security of which the family can nourish within, and the divine feminine nourishes from within. So it's a different place of being. And when you rise into because the earth, the universe is so much in need of healed feminine energy. When you look around, we were taught out of it. When we were taught out of community, which I know we have community and you could say, but we used to live in tribes. There are tribes where everybody is like one big family. Everybody belongs. Everybody has a place, and there is place for divine feminine. There is place for divine masculine. The roles were very obvious, and all of the ages, even now in society, children are shuffled off to school so that they can learn how to be good producers in the factory, the matrix factory, produce the tax money and keep the rat race running, right? So the kids are ripped away from their parents at 3 months old and put into systems for strangers to raise them, and taught how to be good citizens and keep in line, keep in that mainstream. And then the old people that aren't good for the factory life anymore are put into old folks' homes, or, and I know this isn't absolute. I know this isn't absolute, but as a way of thinking in Western society, this is a way of thinking. The old folks they're already obsolete, whereas when we were in tribes, everybody, the people also lived till older because they were relevant. They helped with the children and the grandchildren and the great grandchildren, and they helped with the production of food, and they were already considered to be wise in their old age, so they were very well taken care of and respected in the community. Whereas I feel like today, many of the older people, they're considered to be old timers. They don't know anything. They're not connected relevantly to the times, and we lose out on a lot of life experience, wisdom, um, that we could have. And I know, again, this is not absolute, and I know that even in my life it's not absolute, right? My parents are they live close to me, and I still go and visit them, and I still listen to them, and they have a lot of wisdom, and they share with the grandkids. They raise chickens, and we all get chicken eggs. So it's they're still very much a part of the life cycle, and relevant. So I know that this isn't absolute. I'm talking about as a society, as a whole, places that there is room for healing in these places. So when you understand that rather than competing in the masculine world, which as a feminine you can learn those traits very well, but they're never going to come naturally to you as and again, not absolute. You're competing in something that is far less, comes far less naturally to you. So as divine feminine, when we begin to heal our feminine, don't be afraid of your own femininity. Start playing with it. And you'll notice that and be aware of it at first. Just be aware of it. Once you're aware of it, you notice that it's even there, that you can enter into a room of men and be in your divine feminine power, and you can contain all of the masculine energy that is there, and not only contain it, you can tame it and relax it, and make a divine masculine feel at ease in your presence, because you have that loving, nurturing female feminine energy that men are naturally attracted to and naturally want to be in the presence of, because it makes them feel nurtured and secure and loved and held, and not that the feminine is coming in there and looking for everything to compete with them and looking for everything that they're doing wrong, rather than coming in and holding them up and putting them on. And I don't mean a pedestal in a way of, oh, masculine, yeah, be the small woman, but letting the masculine know their greatness. It doesn't take anything from your femininity. If anything, it adds to your femininity to come in and hold up a masculine and say, you are just something else. That it allows the masculine to sink into feeling worthy, and the knowing that just in being masculine, that they allow a feminine to be her softer, to be vulnerable within their presence. And vulnerable is strength. Vulnerability is not weakness. Vulnerability is the exact opposite of weakness. Vulnerability is maximum strength, because if you're willing to be vulnerable, you are also willing to trust. And if you are vulnerable, it means that you are strong enough to be able to put up those boundaries, right? If you are able to bring yourself fully vulnerable forward, that means that you trust your own self enough to be able to tell and know where to put up the boundaries and how to protect your own self. You're not afraid of your own emotions. You're not afraid that somebody is going to come in and dominate you, because you know that just because you're vulnerable doesn't mean that you are weak. It doesn't mean that you have to accept anything that comes. You can be vulnerable and also be strong and worthy, and draw the line at the same time. That these aren't things that these are things that can go hand in hand. So thank you for watching. Sending you guys so much love.